Right. Doesn't really matter. I can't hear it.
Hello, my name is Willow.
It's your birthday, you are 10 today, 9 seems far away. Luke, it's a special day, now you can celebrate with us today. Luke, you can't have a party, Nanny can't come round and party, but tomorrow, carry on, it doesn't really matter. Action.
Print me out a birthday message for Luke, please. Beep, 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 beep. Take a long time. Beep, beep. What's going on in there? Oh, it won't let me have it. Poo, poo, poo to you. That's not very nice. I want a refund. No refunds. This is a stupid machine. Bog off. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men had scrambled eggs for dinner again. What happened to the girl who slept with her head under the pillow? The fairies took all her teeth away. Why can't you starve at the seaside? Because all the sandwich is there. Doctor, doctor, I keep thinking of a pack of cards. Sit down, I'll deal with you later. What does the Spanish farmer say to his chickens? Ole! One day, a big tortoise, a middle tortoise and a little tortoise went into a cafe. They ordered 3 banana splits. While they were waiting, they noticed it had begun to rain. Look at that, said the big tortoise. We should have brought our umbrella. You're right, said the middle tortoise. Let's send the little one back to get it. I'll go, said the little tortoise. Only if you promise not to eat my banana split while I'm away. Well, the big tortoise and the middle tortoise did promise, and so the little tortoise set off. A few days later, the big tortoise said to the middle tortoise, "Come on, let's eat his banana split anyway." "All right then," said the middle tortoise. At that moment, the little tortoise shouted back from the other end of the cafe, "You do that and I won't fetch the umbrella." Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. "Don't worry, sir, that spider on your bread will get him." Once upon a time there was a donkey. This donkey lived in a field by the side of a river. On the other side of the river there was another field full of delicious carrots. The donkey wanted the carrots, but the river was too deep for him to wade, too wide for him to swim. There was no bridge. The donkey didn't have a boat and he couldn't fly. So how did he get across? Do you give up? That's alright, so did the donkey. Well then Benji, I need you for the other. Do you notice any change in me?
No? Why?
I just swallowed 5p. Please sir, I wish we lived in the olden days.
Why?
Then there wouldn't be so much history to learn. I think that's all of them.
Do you want to do the...
Did you hear about the well-behaved little boy? Whenever he was good, his dad gave him 10p and a pat on the head. By the time he was 16, he had £786 in a flat head. Happy birthday, Lukey. Luke, and then there's colours. Says to Luke, happy 10th birthday, lots of love, Hetty, heart kiss kiss. To be ages.
I wasn't doing as many vloggy bits as I was because life seems a bit more normal now in our new normality. But I think over the weekend we passed 20,000 deaths in the UK, and at the moment we've got 101 confirmed cases on the Isle of Wight. So we're still on the up. There's a lot of people flouting the rules. You know, even my neighbour over the road had a visitor yesterday, and on Facebook there's loads of people just doing what they want. I think I've gone beyond the point of really being bothered. Just get on with my own thing. I think if enough people do the right thing, hopefully it will make enough of a difference. It's almost a compromise between creating immunity but not overwhelming the NHS if it works. I don't know. So I can't be able to get annoyed about it anymore. Anyway, as you can see, normal traffic loads on the road. Anyway, this week's topic is weather, and it's going to be perfect because it's going to rain, so we're going to make a weather station. That's the first thing. I've got my planning. I now do my planning in the morning for an hour or two and then lessons for a couple of hours, but this week we're going to do all the planning on Monday morning so that we can get on and do stuff in the week, because it's not going to be so nice and sunny this week. Still nice though. Okay, start now. Post, you're out. Or anything else. Sorry, Hetty.
Here we go, I'm warm now.
Good. Benji's got a bit distracted making his wind chime.
Can't get in the hole.
Free ticket.
Free.
When I switch on the torch, it gives out a beam of...
Let me just look. The arrow is pointing. It's a very faint arrow. I'm not sure I can see. Oh, I can see it's pointing towards the door. Okay, so keep doing. Do you know why they made this film?
No.
It was when colour films were new and they wanted to show how amazing colour film was. So they made it like this so that you had the contrast between the black and white at the start and then going into the amazing Technicolor. And that's why it was all like imaginary and amazing and rainbow.
Apparently it was one of the first kind of films.
Yeah. Imagine going to the cinema if all you'd ever seen is black and white films.
It's a pig thing, but her dress doesn't have mud on it. I was going to put that out.
Are you going to let that old ghost have to try and butt for you?
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Forever ever was, if ever the there was the Wizard of Oz. Nice rainy day in a while. Can't say homemade went that well today, but it's fine. We watched The Wizard of Oz as we're doing weather. And I did my picture for Grayson Perry's thing. Nothing else to say really, just getting on with it. Okay, so this is my picture. Hope you can see it. I've done this image because this is my fantasy at the moment, to be in the sea, which is not that far away from me, but we're not allowed to go in the sea at the moment, or not advised to. I'm a sea swimmer and I have lots of sea swimming friends, and we also pride ourselves on doing synchronised swimming in the sea, which can be quite tricky. I was watching something online that was talking about the state of people's houses 5-6 weeks into lockdown, and to take pictures of reality, not like Instagram pictures. So I'm going to do a little film of what our house is looking like now. So we have an ironing board full of random projects and stuff that we've done. You've got a computer on the table. If I turn round, we're lucky we've just got a Tesco slot for the first time, so we've got fruit. This is our junk modelling stuff. Sink area. Turn around slowly. Cooking dinner. Washing. Seeds. Lego. I'll go into the conservatory. So this is the contents of my bags and my drawer, which I emptied out but did not sort as yet. Some rude things in there if you look. So, seeds in the suitcase, some courgettes and tomatoes, and then we'll go into the front room. This is a pile of games that are going to go to my friend Amber, but we haven't been able to deliver them. There's hammer beads. I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Basically it's a bit of a tip, and we need to tidy up after our home ed, and there's a grumpy child because it's raining and I think everybody's a bit grumpy. Bowls, crap, knitting, unicorns, pile of DVDs, and we go out this way. House looking there, shut the door. So into the hallway. So this is the other living room with a Benji in it. It's not too bad in here, but then we haven't spent that much time in here.
I only probably spend most time.
You are, and you mainly do Lego and watching YouTube. So go out into the hall, random towels, coats that don't get used. This is the office / quarantine room when we get food. If it doesn't need to go in the fridge or anything, we stash it in here because we figure if we give it a few days, hopefully it won't have any germs on it. That's my desk. It's a shithole, basically, for want of a better word. A load of packaging because we've got lots of things delivered from Amazon, like rice cakes and stuff. Okay. So then I'm going to go upstairs, but Matthew's working upstairs. It's a nice flowers that I've done. Okay, so this is the bedroom, and it's a complete pigsty. That's washing that I can't be bothered to put away. That's a dress that I've got nowhere to wear. That's a pile of stuff that I thought I might fit into by losing weight, but all I've done is put on weight. That's my dressing table. That's me in my onesie. This is more crap. More clothes. Everything just fell off the bedside cabinet. This is my homemade balm. So basically you can see that I can't be bothered to tidy up because as soon as I tidy up it gets untidied. I'm too busy or too tired, either entertaining children or being knackered from entertaining children. So that's our lockdown house.
Deborah has experienced mental health problems before, but 5 weeks into lockdown, this feels different.
Something my son does, can just set me off craze.
Do you think 5 weeks into this lockdown things are getting any better or are they getting worse for you?
For me personally, it is getting worse. Trying to keep my son occupied and trying to maintain a normal life for him. I've actually been suffering panic attacks as well, and they are actually quite scary.
Which is the swirly one? That one. Okay.
Look good on that blue, didn't he? Your big Chumbus Columbus.
Chungus, Columbus.
Tests done. That was the target that they would be done today. Yesterday, 52,429 tests were reported for the previous 24 hours. Is that target going to be met?
Well, we'll know when the results come out, but even if it isn't met, we are well on our way to ramping this up. And 100,000 is an important milestone, yes, but frankly, we need more.
You care about. Watch BBC News live wherever you are. Stay up to date whatever you're up to. Download the BBC News app.
Good morning, you're watching Breakfast with Charlie State and Nadia Ronchetti.
Time now is 7:31. Captain Tom Moore, the veteran who brought together the nation by almost £30 million for the NHS. Extraordinary amount of money he's raised. Celebrating his 100th birthday today.
To mark the occasion, Captain Tom has been made an honorary colonel and a special military flight master is going to travel over his house within the next hour. What you're seeing is more than 100,000 birthday cards, all for him, sent to him, and somewhere amongst those is even one from the Queen.
Boris Johnson will chair a meeting of his cabinet to discuss how coronavirus restrictions may be eased. He will appear at the daily Downing Street briefing for the first time since leaving hospital, although it's unlikely to set out a timetable for lifting the lockdown. UK now has the third highest number of COVID-19 related deaths, more than 26,000 after.
So it's interesting that the Isle of Wight seems to have chosen to trial an act. There's been a lot of rumours over the last week that this might happen, and most people don't want it, but actually maybe I just don't understand enough about it, I don't know, but I think it's quite a good idea, and I feel quite proud to be part of that system that could potentially bring us out of lockdown. And if we're talking about everything that we need to do as a society, and there's people testing vaccines, then I think if enough people pulled together it could work. I'm not particularly worried about people tracing me or this.
Good afternoon and welcome to this BBC News special. In around half an hour's time, we'll be bringing you the government's daily news briefing on its coronavirus strategy, which will be led today by the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. As well as providing the latest details of the government's plans,
Chief Medical Officer, and Sir Patrick Vallance, our Chief Scientific Advisor. I'm sorry not to have been part of this trio for so long. I want to thank everybody who's been doing such a good job in my absence, and I want to thank the NHS for so much, including getting me back here, and I might add, for a much happier hospital visit yesterday. In a few minutes I'm going to hand over to Patrick and to update you on the epidemic, but first I'm going to set out today's latest data. 901,905 tests for coronavirus have now been carried out in the UK, including 81,611 tests yesterday. 171,253 people have tested positive. That's an increase of 6,032 cases since yesterday. 15,043 people are currently in hospital with coronavirus, compared to 15,359 people yesterday. And sadly, of those tested positive for coronavirus across all settings, 26,711 have now died. That's an increase of 674 fatalities since yesterday across all settings. This figure, of course, includes deaths, not just in hospitals. Across this country, therefore, families every day are continuing to lose loved ones before their time. We grieve for them and with them. But as we grieve, we are strengthened in our resolve to defeat this virus, to get this whole country back to health, back on its feet. And we're determined, urgently and in particular, to overcome those challenges that in the last few weeks have been so knotty and so infuriating. I'm not going to minimise the logistical problems we have faced in getting the right protective gear to the right people at the right time, both in the NHS and in care homes, or the frustrations that we've experienced in expanding the numbers of tests. But what I can tell you is that everyone responsible for tackling these problems, whether in government or the NHS or Public Health England, local authorities, we are throwing everything at it, heart and soul, night and day, to get it right. And we will get it right, and we're making huge progress. And I will not underrate the work and the achievement of those who are dealing with global shortages in a global pandemic. They are rising to a challenge we have never seen in our lifetimes. And the same can be said of the entire people of this country, staying in enforced confinement, not seeing family, not seeing friends or grandchildren, worrying about their jobs and the future. And so my message to everyone again today is your effort and your sacrifice is working and has been proved to work. Today, The number of COVID hospital admissions is falling. The number of patients in ICU is falling. We've so far succeeded in the first and most important task we set ourselves as a nation to avoid the tragedy that engulfed other parts of the world. Because at no stage has our NHS been overwhelmed. No patient went without a ventilator. No patient was deprived of intensive care.
Pardon?
He's jinxed it. Of the 7
If we get a second wave that we're not prepared for, yeah.
And it's thanks to
I want to know how many
that
people use that Nightingale Hospital in London. They built, didn't they? Big hospital they built.
Epidemic, where the reasonable worst case scenario was 500,000 deaths. And so I can confirm today that for the first time we are past the peak of this disease. We're past the peak and we're on the downward slope. And we have so many reasons to be hopeful for the long term. The UK is leading international efforts to find a vaccine. Today, Oxford University has announced a partnership with AstraZeneca to develop what they believe could soon be a means of inoculating ourselves against this disease. But until this day comes, and I'm afraid we cannot say exactly when it may be, we're going to have to beat this disease by our growing resolve and ingenuity. So I will be setting out.
Must be met before we begin to adjust social distancing measures. One of the most important tests is the rate of infection. We have to make sure this is decreasing. All viruses, like normal flu, have a rate of infection. Scientists call this R. R is the average number of people one infected person passes a virus on to. To beat coronavirus, we need to keep R as low as we possibly can. Imagine 100 people are all infected. If R is more than 1, then those 100 people will infect more than 100 people, and in turn, they will infect even more. The virus is spreading quickly. If R is less than 1, those 100 people will infect fewer than 100 people, and in turn, they will infect even fewer. The rate of infection is slowing down and coming under control. Scientists around the world have been tracking the R of coronavirus since the start of the outbreak. In March, at its peak, R was around 3, which seems to be the natural rate for this virus. Since then, thanks to you and the social distancing measures you follow, we've been able to reduce R, and it is now below 1. But we've only just passed the peak of the virus, and it's vital R stays below 1. Over the coming weeks and months, the government will be monitoring R very carefully. It will be a key factor in how social distancing measures are used in the future.
Good. Well, I hope that was clear and useful. Patrick, any update?
Thank you. Can I have the first slide, please? So, as the Prime Minister has said, there are 5 tests that the government has laid down for adjusting the lockdown. What I'd like to do is just go through some of the data in terms of the epidemic.
Sorry about all the background noise.
Next slide, please. So, the R is below 1. I think it's between 0.6 and 0.9 across the nation. Maybe a little lower in some places, a little higher in others, but it's below 1 across the country.
Look, I can fly.
This shows the number of new cases.
Money.
We've seen an increase in suicide. What help is available for people experiencing a mental health crisis? And clearly this is a major issue that we've been thinking about. People confined.
I wonder how many deaths there'll be from suicides and other things
so
because of COVID-19.
Taking the pressure off the NHS in the way that
And now we're on to Kirsty Allstops, Keep Crafting and Carry On. What would we do without Kirsty?
I had a go at it before with Joe when I made my
So, what do I have to say today? What I have to say today is that we've had a day off because of Captain Tom's birthday. We've had tears, we've had tantrums. We're all a bit fed up, I think. I can't hear anything because I've got a blocked ear and I can't go and get it syringed. It's rained, it's been sunny. Hetty's made chocolate biscuits.
Delish.
They were very yummy. It rhymes with sunny.
Once you've cut out your hair, you need to iron it onto the right side of your fabric.
I don't know. Anything else you'd like to say, Hetty?
You've completed your applique. Now,
Hetty wants to go back to school to see her friends. I reckon they might go back to school after half term. Sometimes this all seems a bit surreal, and sometimes it all seems completely normal.
So what do I do now?
I've drawn 5 million colouring in things for Hetty to colour in. Everybody's doing patchwork films. Everybody's doing exhibitions of isolation art and everything else, which I thought of ages ago, but it's fine. If anything, I've learned not to get cross when everybody else does my ideas. Great minds think alike. That's because great minds think alike. I'm prioritising being happy.
I'm prioritising being hungry.
No difference there then.
2 threads of paper.
The drawing is amazing.
You're going to be doing an expert by the time you get up the leg. Next Christmas.
And I also can't believe it's Thursday again and it's clap for carers and pub quiz. It comes
we're
around
not
so
telling
quickly.
Benji
But we're not
because
telling Benji because every Thursday he stays up, gets too tired, won't go to sleep, comes down every 2 seconds, starts crying, saying he feels sick, can't go to sleep, and it's bloody exhausting. And he did it last night. And the only time that me and Matthew have any time off away from these children is in the evening, but they don't go to bed. They come down every 2 seconds.
I don't. I just stay down.
You just don't go to bed.
Until 8:30.
Thursday again.
And what it will enable me to do is to forget about my day job that I've got now, and this becomes my day job. And it means, with all the different options on there, it means that I can pursue this. I can pursue this as a career. I can keep this going after lockdown to keep entertaining you. I can keep investing everything. I can keep making this as better, but to keep it as grounded as it is. What you've come here, the 180,000 of you that have come here to watch. So, with all of that and all their encouragement, I've set up what's called a Patreon account. Now, some of you watching may already know what that is, but I'll explain it. It is the Jack and Nicholas.
Oh, they're wrong.
Yeah. So you wouldn't get these mistakes.
It was 5 or 6.
Yeah, but you started off with saying it was 9, and then you went 6, and then you went 5 or 6.
Yeah, but they said 2 or 4.
Yeah, we've got this option here.
Listen to me now.
The home of the National Rail Museum.
Daddy, you got it wrong.
Yeah, you said it with such confidence, I didn't even question your answer.